Hi everyone, welcome to our channel. Today we are going to learn the basics of HTML. Whether you are new to coding or just need a quick refresher, you are in the right place. By the end of this video, you will have a good understanding of how to create a simple web page using HTML. Let's get started without wasting any time. HTML stands for Hypertext Markup Language. The father of HTML is Tim Berners-Lee, the same person who invented WWW, known as World Wide Web. It's the standard language for creating web pages. What are web pages? Well, right now you're on YouTube watching a video, it's a web page. If you go to home, it's a web page. If you go to shorts, it's a web page. If you go to music, it's a web page. Basically, a website is a combination of web pages, just like a book. So, HTML structures the content on the web using elements represented by the tags. Remember this word tags. First, you'll need a text editor. You can use something like Notepad on Windows or TextEdit on Mac, but I recommend using a code editor like Visual Studio Code or Sublime Text for a better experience. You'll also need a web browser like Chrome or Brave or Microsoft Edge to view your web page. If you install Visual Studio Code, I recommend you to install an extension called Live Server, which alleviates the effort of reloading the web page whenever we save the code to view our changes on the web page. So now let's move on to the next step. An HTML element represents a part of a web page. Elements can contain text, other elements, or both. They are the building blocks of an HTML document and define the structure and content of the web page. And again, there are many HTML elements and you don't need to learn everything. Whatever you need, I'll teach you right here and now. And coming to tags, tags are the code that tells the browser how to display the content. Tags are written within angular brackets. Most HTML elements are defined by a pair of opening and closing tags. And there are some elements that doesn't have closing tags and are self-closing, like the image tag for rendering images on our web page. And coming to attributes, attributes provide additional information about an element and are included within the opening tag. In summary, elements are the parts of the web page and tags are the code that defines these parts. Attributes add extra details to elements. Let's say this is our world famous simple HTML web page. Now, what does it contain? If you look closely, this web page contains a head and a body. An HTML web page contains a head and a body. In terms of elements, an HTML element contains a head element and a body element. Now, how do we represent these elements? With the tags, right? Now let's see the basic structure of HTML. Alright guys, now we are on our VS Code. Let's open an empty folder. I made an empty folder called HTML in my desktop. I'll open it and now make an index.html file in. The extension could be either HTML or HTML. Anything works for an HTML file. Remember, the HTML file name should be index in industrial level projects. Because when a web browser tries to render our website, it searches for an index.html file. For example, if you search for www.google.com, the web browser looks for www.google.com/index.html. So that's why the main HTML file name should be index. Now let's look at the general structure of an HTML. The first and foremost tag in HTML is HTML itself. This tag is the root HTML element. It wraps all the content on your web page and tells the browser that it's reading an HTML document. This is an opening tag for HTML element and this is closing tag. Now we have two more elements in this HTML element. Those are head and then body. An HTML element contains two elements in it, a head element and a body element. Coming to it, this tag contains meta information about the document like title, styles and scripts. It doesn't display content directly on the web page. Next, the body tag holds all the content that will be displayed on the web page like text, images, links and everything else go inside this tag. Next, we have title tag. The title tag sets the title of the web page, which appears in the browser tab. It's placed inside the head tag. So we have the title here, right? In this tab, we have the title Google. For this particular web page, the title is Google. And the web page that we are creating, the title, let's say some way or something random thing. And to view your web page, you have to click on this Go Live button. You can see this Go Live button upon installing the live server extension that I have told you about in the beginning. So click it. Now you can see our website, right? The title is V. And now let's discuss some more tags in HTML. H1. This is a heading tag. Headings range from H1 to H6, with H1 being the most important and H6 the least. Use headings to structure your content. The content in this H1 tag is no bluff coder. You can see no bluff coder. If you use H3 or H4 and some random content in it, you can see this H4 heading with less importance than H1 heading. Now we have this paragraph tag. It is used for paragraphs of text. It is a block level element that separates your text into logical section. So if you want to write any paragraphs, we can use this paragraph tag. Next we have lists. Lists are of two types, unordered lists and ordered lists. For unordered list, we have to use the UL tag, and for ordered list, we have to use OL tag. And every list item in the list should be enclosed by the LI tag. And next we have the image tag, which has an attribute called source. An image tag contains an attribute called source. This source attributes, in here we have to give the source of our image. We have to display whether it may be URL or maybe a path to your local image. And we have the alt attribute, which will be displayed whenever your image is not available. The alternative name like image1, and we have the corresponding image over here, and these are the list, an order list and the order list, and this is the image that we have given source of. You can also redirect to other web pages using an anchor tag. An anchor tag contains an href attribute in which you will give the destination of the web page that you are redirecting the user to. Here you can see go to Google. The content I have given this. Upon clicking on this anchor tag, you will be redirected to Google web page. So that's the purpose of this anchor tag. And next we have comments. Comments are totally avoided by the browsers. We write comments to understand the code, like to explain what the particular line of code is for. And next we have types of inputs. This is a input with a type text. See, this is a type text input. You can enter text here, and this is a number input, and we have radio input. There are many other types. You can explore this yourselves. And next we have the form element. A form tag creates a form for user input. Use action to specify where to send the form data and method to define how to send it. This action attribute is used to send the form data. And inside this we have an text type input and a button with type submit. On clicking this button, the form will be submitted and the form data will be go to the it is written in this action attribute. And next we have a simple button of type button, and then we have the most important tag in HTML. It's used in 80 to 90% of your HTML code. It's really important to understand this tag. The div is a container for other HTML elements. It helps to organize and divide your web page into multiple sections. Like we have a h1 and a paragraph tag in a div tag. So this is a separate section which is enclosed in a div tag, and these are segregated from the others. This is an individual section. And then we have the break elements. Break element is represented by BR, which is used to give a extra line or leave an extra line. If you want another extra line, you can give multiple breakless. You can give multiple breaks. See. So to revise this, we have an HTML element, the root element, and inside this we have two elements, a head element and a body element. The head element contains the title element and other meta elements, which gives the metadata about our web page. And inside the body there can be many elements. Suppose we have the heading element, and the heading ranges from h6 to h1, and the paragraph element and lists like unordered list, order list, image tag, anchor tag, comments, which will be avoided by the browsers, and types of inputs, the form element with a button, and the most important part, the div element, which divides our web page into sections, and there are some breaks here. So these are some fundamental HTML tags you will use to create web pages. Play around with them, combine them, and start building your own site. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more tutorials. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video. Bye.